I'm Liam, co-founder of Coffee Clozers. Meet Luis. He's a 25-year-old engineer who wants to become a part-time real estate investor to achieve financial freedom. Now, Luis has three core needs. He needs a property that has positive monthly cash flow. That property should be in good condition, and it should be situated in an up-and-coming area. Now, his current toolkit is that he goes to a website like Zillow and clicks on a random property. Next, he inputs information from that property into a free spreadsheet that he's downloaded from the internet in order to determine what the cash flow might look like. Next, he cross-checks this with some macroeconomic information, looking at things like demographics in the area that he'd be investing in. What are the rent rates like? And also, what jobs do people tend to have? He does this again and again, but the problem is that there's so much to analyze to understand just one property that if he wants to analyze, say, a few hundred properties in a couple of different cities, it's going to take months. So we need a solution here, and we've built one that helps our target user find an investment property in 5 minutes. Here's how it works. User comes to the website and clicks their favorite city. In the meantime, our AI-powered algorithm is already pushing the very best properties to the top. If you're looking to hide properties that are in bad condition, we have an algorithm that can detect those and a filter to hide them. If you're looking to find up-and-coming areas that are likely going to appreciate over time, we've developed a heat map which uses a variety of macroeconomic data and location-based data to determine which of those areas in the city that are likely going to appreciate. Lastly, if you're looking for cash flow, we've developed a proprietary rent estimate, which in turn helps you determine what the cash flow is of each property. So to sum up, we're sort of doing everything. We're showing you the best cities, the best neighborhoods, and lastly, the most cash flowing properties. Moving on to our business model, we have 2 monthly subscriptions, one at $25 per month to access one city of your choice, or $100 per month to access all of our cities, of which there's currently 54. Traction, since launching our new product on the 1st of October, we've now reached $456 in MRR and nearly $3,000 in total revenue. Go-to-market strategy, twofold. One is using my co-founder's Tech and Real Estate YouTube channel, and the other is using the Bigger Pockets forum, which is like Reddit for real estate investors. TAM, there's currently 80 million people in the United States alone who can afford a down payment on a cheap investment property with a mortgage. We need 200,000 of those to spend $500 a year with us to get to $100 million in ARR. Vision and looking ahead. We're currently only helping you find great properties and cities to invest in, but someday in the future, we'd love to help you manage the properties that you end up purchasing. We believe that someday doing these things in tandem could amount to a $10 billion valuation. Competitors, there are several out there, but most of them revolve around analyzing properties and markets one at a time as you go through the process. We do all of the analysis up front. We find the best cities, neighborhoods, and properties, and then only direct you towards those. My team, 3 technical co-founders. I'm Liam, I'm a full stack developer. My co-founder Ariel is a data scientist and a 6-time real estate investor and also a real estate YouTuber. And my other co-founder, Maddie, is a UX UI designer. And that's it. I'm Liam, co-founder of Coffee Closers. We help you find an investment property in minutes.
All right, nicely done, Liam. Aaron, question for Liam.
Yeah, thank you for that. Just a quick question. I wonder, is this like, could this be easily developed by the platforms that they have all the data? It's like a filter or an automatic calculator that they just can display for all the users.
All right, great, Karen.
I'd love to hear a little bit more about the end user, your customer, and how many properties they are buying, et cetera, et cetera. Just a little bit more about who that individual is.
All right, great. Let's take one from Syndicate. Dustin asks, this looks very similar to Roofstock, which also provides the analysis and also the workflow to close the sale of a single family home. How are you different? You have 2 minutes for that, please.
Great. So Aaron, first of all, could this be easily developed by other platforms? So there are several platforms who have access to lots of different data sets, but none of them have access to all of the data that we use. We aggregate data from probably 12 or 13 different sources, because on the one hand, we're aggregating properties that are currently for sale. Then we also aggregate off-market properties, which are not currently for sale, but where the owner is in some type of distress and may be likely to sell the property for very cheap. That's a separate data source. Then there's all of the location and macroeconomic data. So in order to determine which of the up and coming areas, we look at a lot of data, for example, from the Census Bureau. We look at data from Google Maps, what businesses are opening and closing in which areas, and then from there we can determine which are the hot areas. So there's probably about 13 or 14 different data sources that we aggregate between location-based data, macroeconomic-based data, on-market properties and off-market properties. So that's sort of the main differentiator there. Karen, who is the end user? The end user is, I would say, the normal American who can afford a cheap investment property. By cheap investment property, I mean anywhere from maybe 100K in price to 200K at the upper end. the whole vision behind the company is to empower anybody to become a sophisticated real estate investor, anybody that has a little bit of savings, whereby they can buy one of these properties with a mortgage, shall we say. I'd say that our Goldilocks zone is someone who buys a property, let's say 1 to 2 a year, shall we say, again with a mortgage. But yeah, the grand vision is to enable anybody to become a really sophisticated real estate investor. And Dustin, in terms of Roofstock, so Roofstock is just for turnkey properties that they've vetted, and then they pass on to you should you want to purchase them. We look at all of the properties currently on market for 54 different cities, and also Roofstock doesn't do analyses on which areas are best to invest in either. So there's that, and we also look for properties that are fixer-upper properties where you can also add value as well. So that's another differentiator. Thank you.